So here we are.
Recording in progress.
Here we are, Mindful Monday. Once again, it's so great to be here, sharing this thing called mindfulness, sharing this tribe space. I'm so grateful for you all being here and happy to share this time together where, we come together every week. Every Monday, 4 o'clock PST, not PTSD, Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes it's PTSD, I suppose. But, we want to come together each week. And it's a great time for us to practice this thing called mindfulness, to really ground in and start our week off with a conscious mindset. And so we come together each week to dive deeply into the matters of our soul, our heart, and to come home, come home to this place that we call the present moment. And so, coming home to our authentic self, coming home to this beautiful temple, our meat suit, and in this sacred space to where we can dive in a matter of grace and into the matter of what's really today behind those thoughts that keep arising in our brain. Who's really thinking all of these thoughts. And so as we open up today our practice, I'd like to open up sacred space and just dropping into our heart space, taking a nice deep breath in and welcoming yourself. And we open up our sacred space today, calling on all of the directions, all of the elements, and all of our guides who are here and helping us to become present and cheering us on in this lifetime of enlightenment and ascension. And so we really thank all of our guides. We're thanking Pachamama for all of her bounty and for holding us so sweetly. And we thank the divine, this divine energy, this beautiful universe, however way you call this beautiful being that holds us with such great integrity. So we're thanking, and creating this sacred space. We're asking all that is to come and support us at this time, at this place, and in our beautiful meditation practice today. And so it is. And I'd just like to ask you guys who are here with us today to go ahead and mute your mic so that we're not getting any feedback sounds or what have you. So we come to this beautiful meditation today, as in every week, with a simple awareness to bring ourselves into the present moment. And so just taking that nice deep inhale. And we begin to exhale and release, and release, and release. And we begin to soften. We release and soften over and over and over again. And so taking another nice big inhale. And exhale. And we begin to soften into this beautiful moment, bringing our awareness to the top of your head. And just taking a breath with that awareness into the top of your head and opening that beautiful crown chakra and aligning yourself with that presence of the divine. Bringing conscious awareness to that access point and pulling it up over top of your head. That access point is where we access energy and information outside of our own energy field. And so, with breath and intention, we just move that access point straight to the top of your head. So, it is in alignment with your crown chakra. And we begin to soften. Soften with that breath, each inhale, bringing the awareness. Each exhale, softening, softening, softening. And bringing that awareness to your temples, this space around our eyes, and seeing if you can soften that area. And coming into the area of the jaw, breathing into the jaw and loosening, softening, softening with great intention. And you may want to bring that slack jaw, little smile to your face. That smile is smiling to your insides, knowing that all is well right here, right now. And as we soften and lean in to the jaw, we may notice how the area in the back of our neck through that cervical spine just begs to be softened. Just opening it up. Be moving your head around to see if you can soften into some spaciousness between the discs. And bringing that awareness to your shoulders, letting the weight of the world go just for now, and softening the shoulders, let them drop. Noticing the arms, releasing the tensions that are carried through the arms and the hands and the fingers. And bringing that awareness to your chest, noticing the rise and fall of your chest with each breath, and softening. Softening and softening the body brings us home. And just noticing what's happening around your heart. And just softening that heart center. Letting go and releasing any heaviness or burdens that you may be carrying on your heart. Just releasing with every breath, softening with every breath. And bringing that awareness into your belly. Coming into the belly, we rise and fall with the breath. And we continue to soften. Letting go of all of the worries. And just being here with the softness. With the softness that is available in each breath. And noticing your spine. And feeling the tensions just releasing from each vertebrae. And bringing that awareness to your sacral area, that lower back. And with each breath, letting go and softening and softening. And bringing that awareness to the pelvic bowl, seeing if you can breathe into those spaces that are still holding. Holding on in the hips. Holding on to stories. Stories about pain. We begin to soften in deeper and deeper. And bringing that awareness to the legs. Breathing deeply into the legs and exhaling. Exhaling all of the tensions. And coming down into the feet. Those beautiful feet and toes. And with breath and intention, we are going to shoot a beam of light from the bottom of our feet down deep, deep into the core of the earth. So taking a nice deep in-breath here. Picturing, sensing, feeling on this exhale, sending that beam of light down, down, down. There you go. into the core of the earth. And this is your tether, grounding you, holding you in such a sacred way as we dive deeply into this meditation today. As your thinking mind arises and you become aware of that thinking mind, you can take a deep breath and send those thinking thoughts down, down, down through that beam of light and deep into the core of the earth. And as we come into the intention of our meditation today, if you would like to dedicate your practice, you can do so now. Sometimes we like to dedicate our practice to a friend or a family member, perhaps to a special tree or plant, or even a piece of land that is sacred to you. So taking this time to make your dedication. And so as we come into this beautiful intention of our practice today, we begin this deep inquiry as to who is the thinker behind our thoughts. And we have to begin by acknowledging that we even have a thinking mind. Our thinking mind is that space that oftentimes we don't even notice that we've fallen into the abyss of our thoughts. And so we come to a practice that always seems to bring us to this place of loving awareness and letting go. Sharon Salzberg wrote up a little blurb not too long ago on learning to let go. And she says, Michelangelo was once asked how he would carve an elephant. And he replied, he would take a large piece of stone and take away everything that is not the elephant. And so practicing our mindfulness in meditation is something like learning to recognize what is not the elephant. It's a continual letting go of that which is non-essential and distracting. When we're practicing mindfulness and thoughts arise in the mind, a memory or a plan or comparison, even an inviting fantasy, we learn to let go. If anger arises, if self-judgment arises, we simply keep coming back, returning to our concentration of what truly is. We release thoughts and feelings not because we're afraid, not because we can't bear to acknowledge it, but because in our life, we ask, is it necessary? Right now, we practice mindfulness so that we can stay present to what truly, truly is happening in the world around us. Here is where the magic lives. We're caught up in that abyss of our stories and the thinking mind. We miss the magic. We miss the synchronicities and the way that spirit shows up. So we always come back to the breath. Here in the breath, we find the safe place. Here in the breath, we find the place to come home. Home to the body. Home to the present moment. So often our thinking mind keeps us distracted, keeps us in this place of samsara. Samsara being that karmic cycle of suffering. That thinking mind keeps us distracted from the present moment and can even skew the perceptions of reality. But if your mind is thinking, then who is observing the mind thinking? And who is the thinker behind those thoughts? In the Zen practice, they refer to this as the thinking mind and the observing mind. That we, in fact, have two minds. Who is the thinking mind? The thinking mind is the judger, the analyzer. It analyzes reasons, constructs scenarios, tells stories. The observer's mind simply watches it all and has no attachments to any of it. Doesn't engage in the judging or the analyzing. It doesn't engage in the storytelling. Simply observes it. Oh, there's the judger, and allows it to just pass through. Oh, there's the storyteller. Non-attachment. It's just simply aware. The more that we nurture this observer mind and begin to practice a non-attachment to the stories and simply watch it all go by, we become better at being the observer. And it has to become a practice because that thinking mind happens to be the default mode in most humans. And so coming into our meditation practice, we begin to build the power of the observer's mind. We can start training our mind in such a deep way, and we begin to chip away everything that is not the elephant. Pema Chodron says, you quickly learn that distractions are not just phone calls and emails. Our own mind and our longings and our cravings, our fantasies, and everything are also major distractions. And as time goes on and you're feeding it less, you begin to sink deeper into an undistracted state. So we practice. Practice moving from the mind chatter of the other ever-present thinking mind to the observer's mind. And when the thinker's mind takes over, we just bring loving awareness back to the present. And we drop back into the observer's mind. No judgment. We just come back. Come back to the breath. Come back to the body. And come back to the present moment. Here we can begin to detach from our stories. And instead of emotions ruling us, we can simply observe anything that arises. If worry or anxiety starts to arise, we can also observe that we've gone back into that karmic pattern of samsara. And we can just choose to redirect, come home. Oh, there's our breath, rising and falling in the chest. Come home to softening. Come home to what is truth in this moment. Here we can acknowledge and release that inner judger, that analyzer. And we can accept exactly what is happening right here in this moment. Oftentimes that judger and that analyzer is anticipating happening what has taken place in the past that is truly not happening right here now in this moment. And so here is where the skew of reality can take place. And so when we release that judger and that analyzer, we can see what is actually truth right here. And our perceptions become clear. In this acceptance, we can clearly choose how we wish to respond instead of reaction. We train the mind to focus intention and attention on breath or sensations of the body. As soon as you notice that the thinking mind has taken over, that the mind has wandered off, we just gently bring it back. Back to the breath, back to the body. This training of the mind allows you to notice how often your mind wanders and where it wanders to. And here we know then who is the thinker behind the thoughts. Oftentimes, the thinker behind the thoughts is a doer. Gotta be doing something. The laundry list of things to do. These are distractions that keep you from being present. It's right now we're training the mind to be present. When we allow ourselves to let go of the thinking mind, a sense of clarity begins to arise. A sense of openness and freedom. And that's because our stories are no longer running the show. We find that sense of clarity because the judger is no longer running the show. We are free from suffering and that karmic cycle. And here we are open to receive, to allow. We're open to allow whatever is happening right here and now to happen. We accept it in all of its glory. And from this sense of clarity, we can make coherent choices. Choices that are for your highest frequency. We understand that from this space of clarity, that we don't have to make choices from our suffering patterns. We chip away everything that is not the elephant. And we begin to sculpt. Sculpt a life of mindfulness. Sculpt a life where choice is our center. Where we can make choices from the sense of clarity. And so we practice. Lovingly coming home each time the mind has wandered off. We gently bring her back home. Feeling the rise and fall of the chest. Feeling your heartbeat. fully aware of what's happening around you. Feeling the air on your skin. Feeling the miracle of this body here in this present moment. Heart beating, pumping blood, oxygen coming in through the nose, filling the lungs, giving you life. Coming back to the present moment, because this is what we choose. It's an acceptance of everything that arises without attachment. To be the observer. Sometimes we just simply observe that the thinking chatter brain has gone buck wild. And the observer just lets it go. Lets it all go. No attachments, no judgments. Oh, this breath. This moment. This moment. Always coming back. Training the mind. With grace and ease. And sinking deeply into this sense of clarity that is available. This sense of spaciousness that is available. And in this spaciousness, notice the sense of freedom that is available. To be truly liberated from the thinking mind is such a gift. Always guiding ourselves back with that loving awareness. And we close our practice today with a prayer for all beings. May all beings be in the present moment. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be love. And so it is. May your week be filled with joy and present moments. And in some way, I truly hope that this guided meditation helped you find your way home. And I really appreciate you. And I thank you for continuing to show up and do your part. It's been a blessing to be in the present moment with you. We'll see you next week. So much love, blessings and blessings and blessings to you all. Mwah. Peace and love and gratitude.